it's Danielle from Maritime Medium, and today's video is all about predictions for 2020 and 2021. So, as many of you may know who are following me on a few of my pages, I recently did an interview with a reporter with the Daily Gleaner, which was Bill Hunt, and it came out online December 27th, 2019, and the imprint was December 28th, 2019. So, in that interview, Bill was asking me questions that were revolving a lot around sports, some political questions, and his interest in some of his questions that were prepared were primarily surrounding kind of like who is going to be like the successful team in high-level sports and who is going to be the next voted in political figure in, you know, a variety of different cases. So what was kind of interesting about it is through that conversation, I found a few other things were kind of flooding to me after that as well, which became clearer in what to expect for what's coming up. So I wanted to drop a few things that I'm picking up on. One thing that's really interesting to me that I'm actually very excited about is I've been sensing for the Toronto Raptors for the season of 2020 to 2021. So starting in the fall of 2020, sometime in that season, I keep feeling because of the power that they have and the energy that has been bigger than them, like as in they've built up that momentum, but with so much of the city behind them, something I'm sensing for them is there's going to be something that's going to have to do with building maintenance. And I feel like it's going to be like electricity going out. Like they're going to be playing in the middle of a game and then all of the lights go out. It's going to be like an electrical kind of building issue like that. But what's interesting to me about it, you always want to look for what's the translation. So why this is going to happen. The Toronto Raptors carry so much energy and so much momentum that sometimes that energy needs to be released. So you'll see that sometimes when like jewelry will break or when different stones will break and there's the translation in, okay, well that energy is past. I think that season's going to be a super strong season for them in particular. So that was something that was kind of interesting to me to note, and I'll write down some of this and add it to my website as well so that we have the written track record. But I'm excited for them because it's such a compliment to their energy. The other thing that I kept feeling around the Raptors for that season is away games are going to become more prominent. So in that season, when they have that building issue, there's going to be games that were scheduled to be taking place there that are going to need to be placed somewhere else. So it's really interesting. I can't wait to see it happen. I'll just be sipping my tea and smiling when it does. But it's meant to be a compliment, and it'll help people understand energy on a bigger scale as well. Hopefully, especially if they can correlate it back to this, to see that, oh, you know, someone was able to pick up on it ahead of time. So how can we understand intuition and energy further? Another piece that's interesting, this is more local news. So I'm in Fredericton, New Brunswick in Canada. And one of these other pieces that I'm feeling, I feel that Clinic 554 is going to reopen. Again, I feel like a lot of what I'm picking up on is a longer period, but there's something specific about this that I keep sensing. And by longer period, just so I'm clear, I feel like 2020, 2021, like it's in that kind of like fall of 2020 circulating to 2021 fall that I'm sensing a lot of this. But with this, there's going to be a secondary location. And a part of the energy translation with that reopening is some of the energy that took place at Clinic 554 before, it needs to be left behind. And so that's a part of why the secondary space is coming in. I've been feeling too that with that, at first, the secondary location is going to be like a smaller scale support area. So my vibe with it is I feel like it's going to be like a supportive role to the main work that happens at Clinic 554. But it's a good thing. And a part of that translation energetically with that reopening, it's going to be necessary for it to have a secondary location because it's almost like expansion. It's like more consciousness expanding. It's a translation that's more around with that reopening. It's kind of like old old energy is left where it needs to be, and this is representative of the growth and the fortitude that's been executed by the people who helped bring it forward for rights for people. So that was cool. Those were a couple of the bigger ones. Another piece too, I was feeling, and I discussed this with Bill a little bit, not everything made it into the article where it has to be kind of compiled. But a couple other pieces here. One thing I feel, there is going to be more hot water pressure from China. And what I mean by that, there's going to be a couple of things coming up that are going to indicate that how powerful China really is and how their influence is not meant to be underestimated. And that's something I've been kind of vibing out a bit. I would pay attention to any China representatives that are here in Canada, and just kind of look at what their role is and keep a close eye on them. I was talking to Bill about kind of like a tip to reporters that way with that, because I think we're going to see a little bit more pressure from them, which is going to take place. Another piece too, and this is projecting way out, but I'm feeling like the Mactaquac Dam is going to be something that really needs to be looked at carefully and sustainably. I keep feeling it's like when my son is 15 or 16, so he's 4 now, so it's going to be about 11 to 12 years from now. But around then, it's going to be particularly necessary to make sure that all measures are taken to make sure that that's really kept safe. Those are the kind of only things that I wanted to drop for now. I was saying to Bill too, like when he's asking for prediction kind of insights, I care a lot about instilling faith over fear, but the gift with intuition is when you sense warnings or when you sense information ahead of time, you are given the opportunity to help prevent it or to help act on it or to do something with that information. So it's going to be interesting. We talked about a few other things too, like we also discussed Jenica Atwin was someone who I really felt, don't underestimate her. I feel like she has longevity, a really, really, really strong influence and really destined role for politics too. And she's the kind of soul who's going to know when to take little rest and also then come back full steam ahead. So I know we're going to see great work from her. But with that all being said, if anyone who's following me is with media, or if you have media connections, I am looking for opportunities to talk about real spiritual experiences. Where my heart is primarily is really in helping people become educated on, what are the day-to-day experiences or relatable experiences that most people have had that you can help break down to help them understand the intuitive elements that are already present so that they can notice more of the deeper ones when they happen. So I'd like to teach about that. I like to encourage independence in recognizing your spiritual experiences, and to know what the signs are to feel more at peace and at ease about, it's okay to recognize it for what it is. And almost everyone has a story of something that is remarkably amazing that is hard to explain beyond space and time. And I find that really moving and quite fortifying in understanding this makeup too. So that's what I wanted to share. If you like these videos, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I really appreciate your support. And if you are having intuitive experiences, I hope that you know that it's okay to recognize it for what it is and that it's normal and you're definitely not alone. So all my love. Take care. Bye for now.